Hello. Have you asked yourself, this critical materials challenge, why can't the markets and economics as usual simply take care of it? In this video, we will introduce the challenges critical materials present in the economic context. We will explore the economics aspects by breaking it down into microeconomic and macroeconomic challenges. Let us begin the microeconomic challenges by looking at some of the basics. The first thing to consider is price elasticity of demand. This is the relationship between consumption of a product in relation to changes in its price. Now, demand and supply are key in determining the price of a material. Demand concerns the amount of a critical material that companies who make alloy materials and products are willing and able to pay. Supply concerns how much critical material miners and recyclers are willing and able to supply at different prices. If prices go up, so does supply. If prices drop, supply is reduced. You can see that in a completely free market with high price elasticity of demand, the laws of supply and demand determine price. With critical materials, there are, however, some challenges. To explore the economic challenges to critical material markets, let us stay in the microeconomic perspective. Here we see the factors which contribute to an imperfect market for critical materials. You can see there are many factors, shown here as clouds, which limit the ability of critical material markets to be completely free. We will explore these factors in more detail. In critical materials supply, there is poor competition with few companies producing critical materials, and these companies operate with poor transparency. Just try looking up prices for critical materials on an open and fair critical materials exchange. The prices of many critical materials, especially rare earth elements, have, in past decades, gone quickly sky high and then rapidly fell. At the same time, the volumes can be quite small. For most critical materials, it is not the case of opening a mine for a single element. The critical material that is wanted is dependent on the mining of other materials. The critical material can then be extracted during processing of the main carrier ore. It is therefore not easy to simply mine more when prices and demand is high. Also, opening a new mine is not cheap and it's not a quick thing to do. It can take many years before a mine is producing, and the location of the deposits are not all in one convenient place. For the makers of alloy materials and the products which use those materials, things move much more quickly. Just think how fast technology moves, new features, new performances, and more products. We now use nearly all of the periodic table of elements to produce the tech we use. Technologies have become hungry for so many elements to meet the performance we seek from products and systems. Element for element substitution is therefore more difficult. Now let us look at the macroeconomic challenges in the context of critical materials. So here we see the macroeconomic perspectives. Here again we see the factors which contribute to an imperfect macroeconomic situation for critical materials. Let us explore some of these factors in more detail. The world is set on economic growth models. In order to try and maintain growth while limiting carbon emissions, low carbon renewable energy generation technologies are replacing fossil fuel-based technologies. At the same time, electric mobility is replacing gasoline and diesel vehicles. In the move towards a more circular economy, technologies such as digital and robotics will play an increasing role. All of these technologies are critical material demanding. It comes as therefore no surprise that countries seek to secure their own critical material supplies through political and legal moves. In some cases, this can lead to a form of resource nationalism. The mining and processing of any material does not come without environmental cost. Countries seek to develop cleaner, lower impact supplies of critical materials. Then there is the risks associated with geopolitical actions. Geopolitics is the study of geography on politics and international relationships. Many of the challenges to critical materials in an economic context are represented by the risks associated with geopolitical actions. For example, the geographic dominance of China in relation to rare earth elements has led to quotas, military threats, and increased regional tensions. At the same time, some countries raised concerns over Chinese imports of high-tech products. Then there have been concerns over rare earths, human rights, and forced labor. Now let us turn to some solution clouds which could do something to reduce the economic challenges posed by critical materials. Let's look at microeconomic actions first. Going circular will help. Moving away from take, make, waste linear economy models is vital. New companies to complement existing players could induce more transparent and ethical businesses. Boom-bust cycles are never good in any context and really do not help critical materials demand and supply. To help move to a more stable microeconomic environment, global cooperation is vital. All this could lead to more open and transparent markets for critical materials, but the world must consider the need for priorities, and our low-carbon transition is a priority. Now let us look at macroeconomic actions. International panels to agree critical material roadmaps with a focus on circular economic dimensions is key. The impacts of critical material demand and supply needs to be carefully including considerations of ecological and societal dimensions. In a worst-case scenario, tensions over critical materials coupled with resource nationalism could lead to conflict. Nations and international organizations must strive to reduce these tensions. In a resource-constrained world, the temptation to use materials as geopolitical weapons must be resisted, not least to ensure the low-carbon transition is able to ramp up as we need it. Thank you for joining us and exploring rare metals economics.